Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. So right now, Errol Spence is now the unified WBA, WBC, and it's WBC, WBA, IBF, and now one more belt to go is WBO, stopping Ugas later on the fight. So for me, I want to take this all back. I might have said in my pre-fight to this build-up, I said that up to this point, Errol Spence has put on for me workmanlike performances, good performances, but he hasn't put on a performance for me yet that has made me turn around and go, wow. Spence hasn't done that for me yet. But I said in this fight against Ugas, I thought this was the opportunity for Spence to put on a performance and a clinic against Ugas. Now, a lot of people were expecting the upset against Ugas, Ugas to upset Spence. I wasn't of that belief. I was of the belief that Spence would come out, his physical strength would tell against Ugas. I said what you need to do is take the attack to Ugas and work Ugas's body from round one. And quite literally, Spence took the attack to Ugas and working to break him down. Lots of body shots from round one, mixing up from head to body, working up the uppercut as well. And for me, that was a systematic breakdown for fighter, a systematic breakdown. That was a very impressive performance against a top-rated fighter, against a guy that people felt could upset Spence. So he must have been good enough. So for me, Spence, for me, has fought the better up between Crawford and Spence. Spence has fought the better opposition at welterweight. For me, I think you just see it for yourself. The opposite. Now, nobody can. I can't turn and say to me that I'm a Spence fanboy for 1 minute, because I'm not. I think my comments have backed this up and said this over and over again. But I did believe that Spence would put on a career best performance against Ugas. I expected to see a dominant performance. I expect to see Spence be ruthless. And he wasn't against Ugas. Ugas, physically big, strong welterweight. Could probably fight middleweight. He's physically very strong, takes a great shot to body and to head. And he came with the intention to beat Spence. And I said people expected him to beat Spence. Okay, there were a lot of people who expected him to beat Spence. And my good brother Jay Bruce, Jay, I hope you're doing well. And obviously Uncle Bashir tipped Ugas to win the fight and caused the upset. I wasn't of that belief at all. I believe, like I said before, I believe Spence was going to go out and put on a clinic against Ugas, and he did. He thoroughly beat Ugas up. I said that he was there to be for the body shots, and I said as soon as Ugas starts backing up, Spence, it's a Spence fight. Yes, Ugas did land shots, good shots. But of course, you're in a world championship fight. You're in a unification fight. It's the best versus the best. So punches will land, and punches at that level will have an effect. So there was an incident. There was a point where Spence got hit with a shot. The mouthpiece came out, and then Ugas followed up on those shots. Spence thinking the referee was going to kind of break it up beforehand, and Ugas landed shots, which he rightly should have done. And Spence afterwards said that he made it. It was a novice move. He should never have done that. So, as I said, for me, it was a complete performance, a dominant performance by Errol Spence Jr. Dominant performance, and that's against Ugas. I keep repeating this, against Ugas, who a lot of people expected to beat him. So we can't be backtracking now. This is a great performance, and it should be celebrated. Of course, people will talk about Terence Crawford now, but going into the fight against Terence Crawford, Spence has fought the better opposition. He's fought the better opposition. I would say he's fought the fresher fighters. Crawford's fought at a welterweight, Khan, Brook, and Porter, but Spence fought Brook. almost prime Brook. Spence fought Brook. Who's the other? He fought Sean Porter early in his career as well. So, you know, I think I said he's fought the fresher fighters at welterweight. We'll see if Crawford takes the fight next or he's going to fight Keith Thurman. But yeah, I am very impressive of Terence Crawford, Errol Spence's performance. Shout out to Derek James. Derek, again, another great performance by your fighter and doing a great job with Spence once again. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon, my brother. So that's it. Spence does the business against Ugas. So let's hear. If Crawford hit Spence like that, he'd be knocked out. Yeah, but what happens if Spence lands on Crawford? I've got to say now, stay well away from Bud Crawford. Spence was helped tonight by the referee when he got hurt. Okay. I don't want to hear from Spence fanboys anymore. Whether events and fight, he gave away rather than maybe two and took a clean, unexpected 2-1-2 off Ugas. Absolutely. Agree with you there, Joe. But will destroy Spence. Okay. Simple. Bro, Spence got helped by the referee. He got hurt. Bad. Lucky as. Fanboys out in Force Ingram. What a fight. It was a good fight. And Ugas had no answers to work rate combination body shots all too much. Well, in my breakdown this fight, like I said, coming into this fight, I'd said that I hadn't seen a performance that really made me go, wow, about Errol Spence. There were good performances he's put on, but nothing he has done in his career so far has made me go, wow. This fight here, I said, would be the fight for him to do it, and he's gone and done it. So I'm very impressed by him. You did point out Ugas wouldn't have the work rate to win this year. I didn't think so. I think with any guy standing like this, doing this, and throwing 1 or 2, 3, 5 punches around, can't be Errol Spence. Sorry, not like that. You have to be a beast of a puncher. So like Julian Jackson type puncher. Otherwise, forget it. Ingram, it's crazy how much of a difference nutrition can make when Spence first fight. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It does make a difference. And then there's dedication there as well. And you know that you're moving. There's certain fights you're going to now, so you know you have to step your game even more. So Ugas hurt him bad. Referee jumped in and Spence gave Spence time. Watch it back. Commentary was getting crazy. What does the referee do? I think it was explained after the fight as to what that was all about. But yeah, anyway, I think you're looking for things, mate. This was a good fight in the beginning. But from round 3, Errol Spence Jr. began to pull up ahead and establish his class and rank. I said that when Ugas fought Spence, he's going to find out physical strength, physicality in there. I said the physicality would make things different for Ugas. He's going to see a guy who, the body punching, I said that he has to take that fight to Ugas, punch when Ugas is punching, punch with Ugas. Hit him hard, hit him early, hit him with body shots, push Ugas back. And that's what you saw in this fight. And I thought it was a very, very good performance by Errol Spence. Very good performance, you know. And that's it. What can I say? A dominant performance. Do you know what I mean? A dominant performance. I would like to see what would have happened if Keith Thurman had taken Ugas on that night, that he was meant to fight Ugas. What would have happened? Because Ugas is a good body puncher, and you know how Keith, when he gets hit with a body shot, he seems to go on the run. But yeah, I think a lot when I looked at his fight with Pacquiao, and I said to myself, well, if that's how you fought against Pacquiao, if you fight that way against Errol Spence, different type of southpaw. Different type of southpaw. When Spence starts letting his hands go, there's very few men in the world that are going to stick around and take that sort of punishment and come back. And that's Ugas. And Ugas, I keep repeating, is a physically strong welterweight. Yeah, it's a strong man, and he took a lot of punches, and not a lot of guys will stand up to that sort of punishment. Yeah. I think Spence beats Bud, dominates united session, even stoppage. In gyms, bro. Never seen Spence snake your leg down like that. Ugas hurt him with a couple of body shots. Were dropping his hands, yeah, but this is this fight was a unification bout. This is the best fight in the best. And if a person gets hit with body shots or they get hurt with a shot, this is the best fight in the best. This is a unification bout. This guy's got 3 of the 4 belts now. Yeah, so I find it bizarre that people are talking about, oh, you got hit with a punch and you got hit with a body shot. And you got, at the end of the day, this is top elite boxing. It doesn't get any higher than this. And the thing is, which is surprising. It's not surprising really, because when you get in the shower, you're expected to get wet. So just within boxing, you will be expected to get hit. You will get hit with punches, and you get stunned by punches. Ugas can punch. He's a strong guy, physically strong guy, and the punches I said that Spence needs to look out for, particularly, was the looping punch, the one that goes behind the guard and one over the top. And those were the 2 punches that I thought Spence would be vulnerable to. Didn't pull back. Didn't pull back as many shots. I didn't think he put himself too much in that position. But I said for him to avoid that was to get close to Ugas, stay close to Ugas, and don't allow Ugas to be able to land that looping punch. And for the most part, Spence did that. How do I see Spence Bud going? I think it's a great fight. It's a great fight. You know, Crawford can fight orthodox, and he can fight southpaw. I think that Spence has fought the better quality opposition at welterweight, and I will keep saying that he's fought the better quality opposition at welterweight. Yes, Crawford has done well against Brook, and he's done well against Khan, and he's done well against certain fighters. But and he's been done well against them, you know, and done well against Porter as well. But for me, at welterweight, he hasn't really fought a guy, for me, in the welterweight division that I've gone and said, damn, yeah, that you know, how many guys has Crawford fought? Not hating on Crawford. How many guys has Crawford fought in the welterweight division we've gone and said, this guy could beat him. This guy could beat him. And this is the Errol Spence that's come off first the car crash and now the eye injury, and he's come back and put on performances like that. A lot of fighters would have come back and had a warm-up beforehand. He's come straight back from an eye injury, straight into a fight in a unification bout. Who does things like that? No warm-up, straight into unification bout. And it's stuff like that, I think, is very credible. Very credible. So I think when Crawford fights Spence, it will be the first time Crawford's going to be fighting a man that people think legitimately can beat him. You know, and that, for me, is important. That doesn't mean that Spence beats him. It just means that what he's done at welterweight, I'm not invalidating what he's done at welterweight, but what I'm saying, what he's done at welterweight can't compare to what Spence has done at welterweight. I'm talking about what he's done at, you know, the lightweights and being undisputed lightweights. I'm talking about what he's done at welterweight and the sort of opposition he fought at welterweight. You know, so we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. A lot of the guys at welterweight he's fought have been faded. Khan, Brook, even Porter. When you think about it now, you know, Porter was talking about, well, this is his last fight. Win, lose, or draw. It was his last fight. So, you know, his foot was at halfway out the door anyway, and then saying he didn't train properly. I don't know. I'm not discrediting Crawford, but I am putting some facts on the table. Okay, so, you know, I think it's a great fight. Yeah, I think it's a great fight. So that's the way I look at it. I think it's a great fight coming in. But if you're looking at a form guide, you're looking at who has done what in the welterweight division. Errol Spence undisputably has been, between the two guys, has got the better resume, who's fought the better fighters, has been in the more testing fights, and has been tested more in his career as a welterweight. Okay, so if you look at the names he's fought, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Ugas. Now, I'm looking at those guys he's fought. Just look at those guys alone. Look at those guys alone, and then look at what Crawford's been doing. Look at Spence's run to be unified champion, and then look at Crawford's run as WBO champion. He won the title off Jeff Horn. Nobody even talks about Jeff. Where the hell is Jeff Horn now? Nobody even talks about Jeff Horn anymore. You know? A man, and again, I'm not poo-pooing Crawford. A man that basically beat Manny Pacquiao in his country, or in Australia, in a fight that I felt Pacquiao won, but they gave it to Horn, to Milk Horn. That's what I felt that was. So it is what it is. I just feel that that's going to be key in this fight. I think it's key. Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. will be a world-class fight. Such a 50-50 in terms of intangibles. I don't know who to pick. I can't wait for these titans to clash. Well, as I said, my form guide and the guys for the better opposition, they go 55-45 to Spence. Based on that, 55-45 to Spence, because I'm also taking into consideration Crawford's ability, but it's his ability, but how he's looked good against those guys versus what Spence has done and the belts he's collected along the way. My boy Spence, roll on Crawford. Ingram, I still see silliness with fans saying, what about Conor Ben? LOL. He's too busy at the mall picking his next opponent. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't even bother watching that fight. I didn't even bother watching Ben. I was watching the boxer series, and our man Ryland Charlton got to the final of the boxer tournament, and he came up against a guy called Cheeman. I think Cheeman's going to be a name in the British lightweight division to keep our eye out on. He's a good fighter, very good fighter, and yeah. But that's just Ben blowing out Van Herden. It was expected, wasn't it? Let's be honest, it was expected. Barring some bizarre thing happening, I expected Ben to take the fight to him and knock him over, and that's what happened. Ben has to fight. Ben needs to step up his opposition now. I mean, until he fights somebody who can punch him, hit him back, and can punch, I wouldn't be surprised if they took the Broner fight next. I would not be surprised if they fought Broner next, because Broner's another one who's been inactive. He's not a genuine welterweight. He's been inactive. Hasn't fought in a while. He's smaller, and his performances have not been great. So he would take the fight, but I think that's a fight. I think Ben would they would take the Ben fight. They'd faster take a fight against Broner than they would against Avanesian for sure. They would not have taken an Avanesian fight because Avanesian is a problem. He punches very well, and he's got very good boxing skills. I don't think that fight's going to happen. But maybe Ben would fight Marku. But again, Marku can punch a bit, so I'm not sure they'll take that fight either. They talk about big fights. I see Broner being that big fight. Josh Kelly, possibly. Yeah, but I don't see a Kell Brook fight either. I can't see him fighting Kell Brook. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. I have not much more to say, but congratulations to Errol Spence Jr. WBA, IBF, WBC, unified, welterweight champion of the world, the big fish, the big dog, has put on a performance that has caught my eye. And finally, I can say, Errol Spence, that was a great performance. Thank you for watching BWTM Sports Gaming. Really appreciate you all for watching, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave your comments. I'm out.